Welcome back everybody to part 2, and you can see that we are back in the same machine. So we are back in the CentOS, as we are using CentOS as a server and Red Hat machine as a client. This setup is pretty much the same on both machines, but if you want to do it on Red Hat, you will need to pay a good deal of extra money. So I figured I would encourage you to go onto the CentOS machine, where you can do it pretty much for free and just use the Red Hat as a client. The setup procedure is exactly the same. Anyway, we have successfully set up our VS FTP server, and it's up and running, and we haven't actually tried to connect to it or anything of a kind. We've just tampered with the configuration file. But one of the things that we will need to do is punch a hole in our firewall. And we can use the following command for that. I do believe I have it here somewhere, because I don't really feel like typing in the longer commands here, as they tend to mess things up. I tend to mess things up. This was one of my troubleshooting sessions, but I can type in here port 21. So this command will permanently change your firewall settings, and this will survive a restart. So I'm gonna go ahead and say 21, and you can firewall D is not running. Oh, okay. Interesting. An interesting thing about Linux is that you can use your command line to completely turn the firewall off. This is done generally in enclosed environments for troubleshooting. So if you've tried in a lot of options, you still can't connect, there's a problem, you turn the firewall off and see whether you can connect without the firewall. And if you can connect without the firewall, you know exactly where the problem is. However, yeah, on an exposed network somewhere, this is not exactly a valid option. Maybe if it's for a very short period of time, or if you've closed external access to the server and then you are just messing around with it in such a way. We need to bring the firewall back up. So systemctl start firewall D. There you go. And now let's open up port 21, which is the port for which is one of the ports for FTP. So anyway, we've punched a hole there. Let's go ahead and clear the screen now, and let's go into cd var FTP public ls, and I have a file there, hi. I'm just going to go ahead and rmrf hi. I don't really need it now. We will make another one. So let's make another one, which will be I kind of lack the imagination. We can make it the same as the old one, but I want to have a different content inside. What shall we write? I am not I am not high. I am goodbye. Please keep that in mind. There you go. That is going to be the file on our FTP server containing these words. How much sense they make? Well, that's questionable, but it is a file and it does contain something in it. If we cat out hi, you can see that it actually does contain that file does contain those letters, and the folder does contain that file. The reason why I'm showing it to you is because we are about to go to the Red Hat machine, and from this point we will pull the hi file and pull it into this machine. So how do we do that? Well, we can use wget. I mean, wget is a perfectly legit way to download things from the net, or to download things via HTTP or via FTP. So just type in wget space FTP This is one of the ways in which you can use to test out your FTP server, and not the best one. So 192.168.1.102. By the way, this IP address is the IP address of my machine over here, the CentOS ifconfig. And there you go, you can see that this is its LAN address, and since we are all in LAN, I'm using that one. /pub/hi. I would like to get this file. I couldn't connect. No route to host. Okay, you see, this is what I was talking about. You can encounter these problems, and then you get some crazy port number down here, which makes no sense of whatsoever. And believe me, I have been punching holes in the firewall. I have been reinstalling the server. I've been reconfiguring. I've been playing around with it for a while. But until I made the proper configuration and until I made the proper firewall holes, I was unable to do this. However, if it works for you without doing the same things as I did, like this, if the wget passes from the first try, great. You don't need to bother yourselves anymore. However, if it doesn't, well, welcome to my world. Let's go back to the CentOS machine. Let us reopen the config file for the FTP server. So etc vsftpd vsftpd.conf, and we gotta go to the bottom. Okay, so we will need to insert these lines. I'm just gonna remove the comments, but you will need to insert them, so just take a look at them. They're not too long. Okay, so what am I saying? I'm saying that I would like the passive mode for FTP to be enabled, and I would like the maximum port to be 40,000 and the minimum port to be 40,000, meaning that it will only use the port 40,000, because FTP always uses two ports. One port is for the actual transfer of your files, and the other one is for communication. So we need two ports, and we need to switch the mode. We're going to right quit this, and now we need to punch another hole in our firewall, which will not be 21, but it will be 40K. It doesn't need to be 40K, it can be pretty much whatever you want, but you pick a port really high up so that you make sure that nothing on your system will ever use that port, or that you are not going to block any other services if you use it before they do at a later point of time. So 1, 2, 3. Enter. Success. Okay, so let's see whether it's successful on the other, whether this is gonna work now. No, it will not. Why? Well, we need to restart. Do you remember what I've mentioned in the previous tutorial? Why? Because this configuration file, even though it's changed, it's not actually used by the FTP server yet, because it's using the old one, as it already loaded the old one into RAM, and already loaded the parameters from the old one into RAM, and it is just using them. So let's go ahead and restart it. So system ctl space restart vsftpd, press enter, and the restart seems to have ran smoothly, and it seems to have been a successful one. Let's see if this is going to work. Oops, wrong one. This is my way of recording, and I also have a FTP tests running on my main machine here. Let's just see which one do we need. Red Hat. Okay, so let's give it a shot now. There we go. Guess what? We have successfully retrieved the file, and let's go ahead and do cat hi. It retrieves it to the current folder. Guess what? I am not hi. I am goodbye. Please keep that in mind. So we have successfully retrieved it. It's there, and our FTP server is fully functional. This could have been 50 gigabyte worth of information that we've pulled, but we've just pulled a small amount. Anyway, if you would like to use a client, an FTP client, to browse the FTP server, which is a better way of pulling things, because, I mean, let's just remove this. Because, I mean, you will only be able to download something in this fashion if you know exactly where that something is. But if you don't, oh well, you know, it's not going to happen for you. But if you have a client, you will be able to browse and to look for the file that you need. What do we do now? Well, we go ahead and type in yum install lftp. This is not a server, this is just a client. I do believe that it's already installed. Yes, it is, but for you it probably won't be, so just use the same command that I have and it will install it. lftp space 192.168.1.102. Let's do ls, and there you go. You see the directory, and if we go to cd pub, and if we do ls, yep, there we go. Our file is there. So we can type in get hi 52 bytes transferred. Okay, no big deal. Let's exit, and we do cat hi, and it says I'm not hi, I'm goodbye. Please keep that in mind. We have successfully pulled that file as well, but this is a bit of a user-friendly way to do it. I mean, you can actually browse things like this. Also, you can log in with a valid user. I have my user on that machine that I am currently logged in on CentOS is creator. Here, let me just show you. CentOS. Who am I? Okay, I'm root obviously, but exit. Who am I? I am creator. This is my user name. So let's go ahead and back to the Red Hat machine. Type in creator at, and this is who we want to be on that particular machine, same as with SSH. Press enter. It will prompt you for a password. Type your password in. You won't, while you type, you won't see any characters appear on the screen. This is a security measure, but believe me, you are typing them in. Press enter, and there you go. We are successfully in the home directory of that particular user. I can see desktop, documents, downloads. Okay, so let's just make a file quickly over on the CentOS machine. cd ls, and we're gonna go into documents. We're gonna do ls. There's nothing there. Okay, so let's type in vim space. How shall we name this file? What is on my table? A lot of dust that I need to clean eventually. Okay, give me the insert mode. Please clean me. I'm not begging you, but I could really use it. Okay, so let's go ahead and save this file and go back to the Red Hat machine. Okay, so let's navigate over to the documents folder. By the way, the tab doesn't work when you are remoting like this, as far as I know anyway. Let's try it. CD. Oh, it does work here actually. So CD documents, which is a very nice feature. ls, and guess what? I see dust there. Let's do cat dust. Please clean me. I am I've magnificently written this. Please clean me. Could really use it. Okay, we need to change this. I mean, seriously, it makes no difference, but I feel like I really need to change this. This really feels embarrassing. I could really use it. Enter. Hopefully it's correct now. Back to the Red Hat, and let's type in just get dust 40 bytes transferred. Great. Exit cat dust. And there you go. You have the dust file there. Let's just clear the screen and do it one more time. There you go. So we have successfully transferred it to here. Anyway, anonymous users will always be directed to var FTP pub, and if you log in as some other user onto the server, you will be able to actually access their home directory. Just one more thing that I would like to check before I wrap this up. If I do cat, I need to be root here, so clear cat etc pass wd. Okay, so that's the right one, but grep -i ftp. Okay, so there you have it. We have an FTP user, and it says var FTP. At the end it says no login, but you can actually change this directory to be something else. So you can change it to whatever you can change it to any folder that you would like, but the permissions on this default one are very good. So I would recommend that you leave this as it is. So that directory where anonymous users go to, where anybody can just go ahead and access, the one that anybody can just go ahead and access, that folder actually has a user, and that is the folder, that is the directory for a particular user. That user is FTP. Strange as it may sound, I've said that we have system users that regular people would never use, but they're created for the system, and this is one of those typical examples of it, where you have a single user for that directory in order to tighten down the permissions to control them as best as you can. Anyway, I would like to bid you all farewell now, and we shall see each other hopefully in the follow-up tutorial.